That's enough explanation, I think. Let's get into the match. Rezears versus CRR and see if the rest of Europe can continue to look like, well, I think the favorites on this side of the bracket, but you never know. This is a format that does allow for star players such as Moxie to just completely take over. Oh, sorry about the game sound. Let me just turn that on. That's a confident start though for Rezears. Backboards to himself and slots the rebound bottom corner. CRR running pretty low on boosts after that kickoff, and Rezears put the ball where he could not follow. Omni's next to the 12-month tier 1, and also Kira for the 35-month prime. Thanks for the reminder to talk about subreddit comments. There's been some hilarious comments on the subreddit that I've wanted to draw your guys' attention to as we get this series started. I don't want to take too long and talk over the final minute of a game. So let's do that right now. After I say thank you to GHKSA99 for the 5-month tier 1 as well. Appreciate the resubs, guys. Okay, some of the comments I saw yesterday were kind of mind-blowing and really, unfortunately, not surprising. If you watched the Daniel versus Dark series yesterday, you'll remember that for the majority of the series, Dark had something between 88 and 96 ping, and Daniel had between 96 and 100 ping, so they were about as close to even as you can get. And Daniel is a player who's got quite a lot of experience playing 1v1 on the EU server compared to some of the other American players like FirstKiller, who doesn't really have that much recent experience on the EU server. Even AJ, I think Daniel by far the most accomplished on the EU server from the NA team, and I had him heavily favored against Dark. But there were so many comments on the Twitter and on the subreddit after Dark beat Daniel, saying that Daniel had like 150, 158 ping, and I'm just here thinking to myself, what is going on here? What's going on with all these Daniel fans trying to just straight up lie about his ping? And these are comments that are getting upvoted, by the way. Like there were downvoted comments saying the ping was even, and upvoted comments saying Daniel had 158 ping. I'm thinking, what? Why? I mean, Daniel wouldn't want that, by the way. I'm sure he doesn't really care. He's just gonna, go right back to being one of the best threes players in the world, and still is one of the best ones players in the world. One loss against a peaking Dark is not going to change that. But yeah, what's the deal? Why are people trying to just straight up lie about ping, and then at the same time, the same people are commenting elsewhere in the thread saying, yeah, this tournament doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's just a for fun tournament. But then you're also lying about the connections that both players have. Really, really baffles me once again. Yeah. So there's been other comments as well. I've been paying attention to format comments mostly because I do want to hear people's takes on how this works, and it seems like a lot of people are misunderstanding exactly how this format works, which is why I've been talking about it so much on my stream during these matches. There is a chance for somebody to be the hero like FirstKiller nearly was for USA yesterday and just all kill the other team, just win 3 straight or win 3 total. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3 straight. For example, if AJ beat Clears yesterday in the opening match and then what a save by Rezears, and then USA lost the next 2, AJ would come back in and play 2 in a row and try and win them both. That's phenomenal by Rezears again. Just a little trip. He's really controlled CRR so well in this game. World-class defense and now world-class midfield play. Rezears is from Germany. He's from Germany. Yeah, for me this is I think it's a balance. I've done an all-kill format before in a Crew Battle 1's show match where the way an all-kill format works is the player who wins the first game or series, so today it would be Jaria's, just stays on, and the other team send out a different player to face him. And in that format, you might just see someone like Jaria's win 3 straight, and then Rezears and Atto, the other players in the team, are just thinking, well, what am I here for? What am I doing? That's even more, like the standard all-kill format is even more of a 1v3 at times, depending on how things go. Nice little forward double there by CRR, keeping this one competitive. Rezears says he got tapped out. It did look like he stopped a little bit there, but I'm saying nothing. It's up to CRR to decide what to do with that information. If I was him, I would just play on say, unlucky, bro. That looks like that's what CRR is going to do. If you're down by 2, and potentially 3, and there's less than 2 minutes in the clock, you don't really have the option of just giving a goal back for a DC like that. Well, you don't have to. But yeah, there's been so much controversy. The final thing I wanted to say about the whole Daniel thing is that there's been so many like really weird comments surrounding Daniel in 1v1, and people seem to just worship him in ones to a level that I've not really seen from any other ones player. It kind of reminds me of the way that NRG fans worship NRG in 3v3. That's the kind of level Daniel's getting to. He's like at Messiah status for NA1s. Oh, that's a flick and a half. Oh, he's hit the bar though. Rezears tries to read it. It went way too fast. Now, yeah, I wanted to bring it up in today's stream, the whole Daniel situation, because I think it's not fair to. I don't think it's right or fair for the fans to talk about him in the way that they are. You know, just lying about his losses and trying to downplay his opponent's achievements against him, and calling everybody who says Daniel's not the best in the world biased, and a whole list of I don't know what other names I've read about myself because I didn't put him literal number 1 in my top 25. But yeah, I mean the reason I didn't put Daniel, if you watch that video, at number 1 is because he is more susceptible to losses against players who are lower level than him, and I would say Dark is a lower level than Daniel. I'm sure that at least that's something we can all agree with. Dark is a lower level than Daniel. He's an unbelievable talent, but Daniel should beat him, and he didn't. And he didn't beat Naupo, didn't beat Drally, didn't beat Evo in recent matches that they played against each other. He's more susceptible to those losses. Rawas seems to just be completely bulletproof in those matchups. That's why I put Rawas ahead of him, just simply as a better record numerically. Yeah, apparently you can't say that anymore without a whole host of people piling on and saying that you're actually just hating and that Daniel's the greatest player who ever lived. I think it's unfair. It's unfair to put all that, to have all that negative, all these negative discussions around Daniel. He didn't ask for that. He's just, you know, he just happens to be ridiculously talented, incredibly good at the game, and also be very popular. But you're not doing him any favors by downplaying the achievements of his opponents. If he loses and then you say, yeah, but his opponent sucks, that doesn't make Daniel any better. Hope you realize that. Oh, wow. Oh, CRR looked like he was going to win there. But he took way too long with the open net. Now we go to overtime. Was that just me, or did CRR have a completely open near post and he actually slowed the ball down too much while trying not to miss it? He should be winning anyway here. He's got Rezears in a real bind. Rezears has done about as well as you can hope for with no boost, but he does end up losing game 1. Magnificent comeback by CRR. While all that was happening, I expect that he will be pretty annoyed at himself for not taking it in 0 seconds, but all that will be forgotten with the game 1 win. Does that mean that Daniel would lose to a plat? See, now we're on the same wavelength. I think Daniel just tilts a little bit more than Rawas does when he's against. when he loses a game to a player he's supposed to beat. He looks a bit more rattled than Rawas does. When Rawas loses a player against somebody he's supposed to beat, he just gets straight into game 2 and dominates. He just to me seems like a lot more solid. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see. I would hate to see. Like I said, it's the first time I've seen it in 1v1. Like a player receiving comments that remind me of like NRG fans in 3s. I would hate to see that spiral out of control. So I have to speak up against it. I don't condone that. I don't think it's good for. I don't think it's good for anyone. To have those kind of interactions. The 150 ping comments are all downvoted. I think maybe now they're downvoted, but that's only after somebody posted a screenshot. So the way that it works, right, is I checked the thread 3 or 4 times. A bunch of comments appeared saying Daniel actually had 150, 158 ping. Dark had a 40 ping advantage. That's the only reason that he won. And also apparently the advantage was unplayable because Dark has infinitely more experience on the EU server than Daniel. You know, a bunch of comments like this. They were all upvoted initially, and then someone actually like came into the thread and posted a screenshot of Dark and Daniel's ping, and then after the truth, you know, came out from that screenshot, everybody went and downvoted all the lies. But I'm thinking, why are they even there in the first place? Like, why do these comments exist? It's so weird to me. Like, I don't see that from anyone else. And I can promise you, Daniel doesn't, he wouldn't want that to exist. So, yeah, just cringe. Cringe, isn't it? Cringe copium. There is one comment, I'll say one more thing, because this one truly did blow my mind. There's one other comment I'll discuss before we really focus on the series that's happening here, because we need to hurry up. CRR might be just speedrunning Rezears. So let's just talk about one more comment that really blew my mind. In fact, I'm going to go and read it out to you, because I don't want to get this one wrong. So someone said, in reference to the Daniel Dark series, he said, he's discussing that he thought it would be unfair no matter what they did server-wise. The reason is, he says, I think it would have been unfair either way, not to discredit any of the MENA players, but the North American players don't have half the experience they do playing on high ping. He goes on to say, it's kind of like taking away Daniel's right or left arm and then asking him to play Ashley, since now they're technically even, but not actually fair because Ashley has years of experience playing like that. Now I'm reading comments like this thinking, is this satire? Like, what am I reading? And that comment was upvoted when it was first posted, by the way. Upvoted. I don't know if it's just like some super fans like super coping in a Discord channel and they're all vote brigading, but that comment was upvoted. It's probably downvoted now, but that was upvoted when it was posted. I could not believe my eyes. That's why, you know, it's stuff like this that makes me bring it up today. I'm like, what is going on? You guys need to seek help. You guys need to seek help as soon as possible. Well, Rezears scored a cracking goal to slice CRR's lead in half, but then CRR did CRR things and ball chase and zero boost, and Rezears didn't see it coming. If that was satire, then you know, it was disguised well, because it was you know, surrounded by more comments in the same vein by the same guy in the Reddit thread. It just, I don't know. It's crazy to me that these people exist. Yeah, I want to reiterate, I think Daniel's unbelievable. I don't think he deserves to have all this negativity around him. You know, why can't the response just be like, wow, you know, what a great win by Dark, peaking unbelievably. Like, this is my genuine takeaway, is that, wow, Dark peaked to an unreal level, and he had to 3-2 Daniel. Like, Dark peaks and he wins 3-2. Shows you how talented Daniel is, in my opinion. That should be, I think, the takeaway, not like trying to cope by lying about ping and coming up with ridiculous excuses. That doesn't make Daniel look any good. Doesn't make him look any better. Okay. Well, I just had to, you know, get that. Just I wanted to cover that at the start of the series. Now we can focus on what's happening. What has been happening? I've been watching this. Is that CRR has gone into a real rhythm here. Now, I mentioned that he's more of a tournament player than a show match player historically. He's got a losing show match record, I think, every year that he's played. Or I think he's been around for maybe a year and a half. So he started off with a, I think, even or losing show match record. He's had one of the, I think, most negative show match records recently, but he's just so good at producing the same level when the pressure's on. And, you know, the pressure is on a little bit here. This is, I'd say, a step up from show match pressure, because show match is just one, you know, a one-off. And if you lose, you lose, but that's really it. But, you know, here he's got two teammates really wanting him to win, and that's, you know, gonna really weigh on some players, even subconsciously. CRR doesn't seem to be affected at all. He's just doing his thing, and the thing that really impresses me most about CRR's gameplay, and always has, is his ability to find positions where he can sneak challenges in. He actually tried to do it here, and Rezears didn't fall for it this time. But everybody knows that this is how CRR plays. Everyone at the high level, especially Rezears, he'll know this. you'll know that CRR just prefers to pressure the ball way more than he likes to go and grab boost. If there is a scale, and that one end of the scale is pressure the ball, the other end of the scale is go get boost, CRR is all the way on the ball pressure side of that scale. Oh, what a shot though. Oh my goodness, Rezears has pulled another worldie out of the bag. He pre-flipped outplay CRR earlier, and now he's kind of pogoed him there. That was, you know, a landing on the ground followed up by a dodge to hit the ball just slightly earlier than CRR was expecting. And we have an equalizer with 2 seconds to go. The ball bounces up. CRR might have a chance to win it. Before OT, he's loved CRR, but CRR managed to bump Rezears away from the play. What a huge game this would be for Germany if they can win this series as well. And they're going to be massive favourites. I don't think many would be betting on Luis to win against Rezears, Rezears and Atto back to back to back. But he might have to. Rezears has come back against CRR and beaten him. Both players trading comebacks in the opening 2 games. Atto, did you play, I forgot, did you play Luis in my other recent tournament, Pro Drops? I can't remember if you did. We've got Atto versus Luis up next. I've forgotten off the top of my head if they actually played recently. You know, to me, that's going to be a close match as well. I think this is a series that, for now, should be on a knife edge. How big is my Excel sheet with all the results and stats? It's not that huge actually, because I organized it pretty well. A couple people have been asking for it to do proper data analysis, but honestly, I've organized it. It's one of those sheets that it makes sense to me, but I'd have to go and like put comments and notes all the way through it for it to make sense to any other human on the planet. So I'm not making my research public for my top 25 1v1 players, because I don't think it'll make sense to any of you. It's a total mess, but it makes sense to me. You know, I didn't need it to make sense to anyone else. I was just doing it as quickly as possible. Huge game here for Spain. Yeah, Atto's playing in another tournament right now. That's why he's decided to go 3rd for Germany today. Same dribble by CRR. Just the old standard. We're in a world where all of the back corner air dribbles have got a reset or a bump at some point. CRR just kept on lifting the ball. Rezears didn't see it coming. Yeah, I don't know what the Benelux tournament is that Atto's playing, but he told me that he wanted to play a tournament with his brother today before this. Would it be possible if he goes 3rd? And I think it should be fine. I think they're maybe going to be finished soon. Are they in the final at least? He better be winning. He better be winning if he's playing with his bro. It's 0-0 best of 5. Alright, you guys need to speedrun that one, because Rezears and CRR are playing out pretty quick games here. Could be 3-1 either way. Snoop Jesus, thanks to the 5-month Prime, by the way, and also Earth to Free, thanks to the 33-month Tier 1. Really appreciate the support. That's a crazy flick from Rezears. The fact he's managed to get under that ball to lift it over CRR, it's the most impressive part. You know, it was a quick flick, didn't have to be with CRR's commitment to the challenge, but to get just enough height on it to put it over CRR was very, very difficult to do. Rezears on half boost. Just knocks the ball across his own box to grab the 100. And once again, we gets demoed for his trouble. CRR grabs the 100 and immediately centers. Perfect first touch from CRR. He is back within 1. We've got the All-Saudi Arabia semi-final tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be KSA's A team, KSA versus KSA's B team. So we've got KSA versus KSB tomorrow. And then the winner of today's match will play against France the following day. Oh my goodness, CRR's beamed it again. You know, he's had a couple of these open nets where He's really taking his time with them. He doesn't want to miss, clearly. He's trying to make absolutely sure that he gets the shot on target, but he's taking far too long. I think that one's going to be bouncing in, though, and he ties the game anyway. Rezears has tried to challenge CRR early quite often in this matchup. He's not giving CRR the run of show at all. You know, Rezears is such a capable defender. I do expect to see him just take a step back in at least one of the remaining games and prioritize shadow defense. Look to counterattack CRR's aggression. You know, you don't often counterattack or get counterattacks in CRR overextending. It's usually CRR running out of boost that gives the opponents chances to counter. Rezears didn't need a counter on that play, just a reset and a shot across the net. CRR coming in at the wrong angle. Zusi, thanks to the 2-month Prime, welcome back to the channel. Oh, huge kickoff win for CRR. Rezears gets it all wrong on that one. I think he probably wave dashed too low here. Yeah, he wave dashed too low onto the ball, or jumped too low onto the ball, I should say, to set up his wave dash. And he was side on as well. Being side on isn't always a terrible thing when you're looking for the wave dash recovery, but you've got to be on the opposite side of your opponent for it to work. The whole point of the wave dash kickoff is you want to just block your opponent's angle. If they're coming from the left, you want to just block them slightly. Good read though from Rezears. This is something CRR is going to need to watch out for. It's something he always needs to watch out for. He's susceptible to long shots because he likes to advance. He likes to, you know, put himself in no man's land essentially. Just so he's that little bit closer to the challenge. Wait, both Khaled and First Killer have a birthday today? I didn't know they did it. Have the same birthday. I didn't know that. CRR's out of boost again. Rezears walks it in for 6-4. There's an example of what I was talking about before. You don't usually get counterattack goals in CRR because he's overextended on his play. It's because he runs out of boost on his opponent's play sometimes. He's so keen to get up close and personal. Sometimes he oversteps his boundaries. Rezears trying to pick up the mid boost on spawn. A bit too early for that, so he backs off to the corner. CRR immediately switches to dribble on the other side of the pitch. Rezears with a defensive flip reset. Backs him up into this corner once again. They do have a birthday the same day. That's really cool, actually. Wonder what the day of the year is with the best Rocket League team. It's got to be today, right? With First Killer and Khaled both sharing the same birthday. Have we got any other Rocket League pros or Rocket League content creators who have a birthday today? 19th of December. I was going to mention that as well, Joris. Yeah, we're gonna need to find a third 8th of March person. Yeah, Joris and I are both 8th of March. If we can get another 8th of March person, then we're gonna show match Khaled, First Killer, and whoever else they get. Just any day, any time, we'll take him on whenever they're ready. No problem. That's another interesting tournament idea. I'd love to see the reactions to everybody realizing what days have the strongest team. It's like, oh my goodness, June 26th is incredible. Oh, have you seen February 14th? All too easy for Rezears, just sits on CRR. I think back in the day, I don't know if any other RLCS casters still say this, but back in the day you would definitely have heard people calling that a Goomba Stomp. Oh, well placed. CRR. He knows he needs to go for it here. Down by 3. Loses the kickoff. Just absolutely sends a challenge. But it's so much work to do with that rebound. And he just dropped it in gently to put himself just 2 goals behind. And now he's got a kickoff win. Well, this could be comeback he needs, but he's kind of giving the ball away there. In fact, he's totally giving it away. CRR could have ran for the mid boost, taking his time. Of course, we all know that's not the CRR way. He doesn't take his time on any play. He only knows the go, 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 Spanish bim bam pressure play style, 20 boost to his name. Actually does wait on that play, respecting Rezears' boost management. Rezears just looks so comfortable now. He's really settled into the match. CRR had a great end to game 1. A good start to game 2 as well, but since then it's been all Rezears. He's not even going to take the 9th goal, just plays it to the wall, gives CRR absolutely no chance. I think that was probably just Rezears trying to get into the next game without watching a goal replay. At that kind of time remaining, I don't think he's playing the number game. I don't think he's trying to increase his win percentage. You sometimes see that though, you know, on a 2-goal lead, if you've just got the ball and 100 boost and your opponent's got not much boost, sometimes the best play is actually just to miss the open net on purpose and dribble the ball around, because that guarantees the win. If your opponent doesn't have boost and you've got the ball, what are they going to do? You could just waste 20 seconds easily and hold your 2-goal lead. If you put the ball in the net though, suddenly you're back at a kickoff with 20 seconds to go, and a kickoff goal could make things a little bit tricky for you. So that could have been an element of that there from CRR, or from Rezears, just trying to absolutely guarantee the win and avoid any potential for kickoff shenanigans. Able to shrug off the bump there, and missing the corner boost is going to leave both players low. CRR not too bothered by that, but once again he's really slow rolled this open net. That's the 3rd time today that he's had a little bit of an open net, and he just takes forever, not even interested in rushing the shot or setting up an early shot, just controls it. It's so bizarre that he's playing his slowest, most controlled style when he's presented with an open net. Other than that, CRR is just blitzing every play and going route 1 the majority of the time. Yeah, they have switched cards this game. It's an interesting thing to notice. Rezears, for most of his one's career, has been an Octane man. CRR, a bit more of a half and half Octane Fennec kind of player. You should do the birthday tournament thing, but for months. Yeah, months would make it a lot easier to get teams, but you're probably going to find that there's just a stacked month. You know, there's 20 pros in February or something. I wonder if esports have the same kind of 2-3 month window as real sports do, where all of the athletes are just in an advantage, what am I trying to say? An advantageous position purely because of the month they're born in. I kind of had that to a lesser degree. I was never like a professional athlete or anything close, but whenever I was playing sports in school, I'm a March birthday, and in the UK, March is the oldest you can be in any year at school. It's March to February. So, you know, the younger years of high school, you know, I've got like a whole year on some of my peers. It's just it's a huge advantage you've got there. I don't know if it happens in esports as much. Probably. Actually, you know what it might be? I've just thought of this right now. As Rezears fakes out CRR. The esports version might be the RLCS season start month. Like, if somebody can just turn 15 right before the start of an RLCS season, that might be preferable, because that's when the majority of teams are making roster moves. So you might see, actually, if you know, further down the line, and it's probably too young of an esport to see any impact so far. Maybe like further down the line, you're going to notice that there's a lot of Rocket League pros who have birthdays right before the start of the RLCS season. CRI's up 3-1 here, looking for that 5th game. Rezears just carelessly leaving the ball in that play for the back corner boost, bit of a mistake. Birthdays of players in the NHL skew to certain months because of that exact situation. Yeah, it's the same in all sports. All of the athletes in various countries will usually, a lot of the top athletes, most of them will just be the ones who were the oldest in their year at school, because those are the ones who are winning when they're young. Like, you know, when you're 5 years old and the school does a sports day, probably the kid who, you know, is actually like already 6 years old is going to beat all the 5-year-olds, and then they get to go and train and race with you know, the other 6-year-olds who are masquerading as 5-year-olds. that's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't know if it starts as young as that, but you know what I mean. It's really overpowered though, just to be one of the oldest people in your year at school. The most overpowered moment for me when I was in school was actually being the captain of my primary school's sports team, just because I was the oldest, and that meant that I got to go when we actually won an inter-schools sports festival. We took like 7 gold medals. I won a gold medal in the high jump with some horrendous scissor kick technique. That's just because I was like tall. tall. Like the guy who was like second place was like a whole head smaller than me. I was like, this isn't even fair. But yeah, we won like the entire thing. Got like 7 different gold medals, won it, and I got to go collect the trophy just because I'm the oldest. It's like, well, how is that fair, you know? Imagine you're the youngest, you just never get to do cool things. Back in my day, back in the day. Before video game, actually no, video games were a thing, but not so much. Rezears still looking impressive with the shadow defense. His deflections into his own crossbar have been on point today. CRR a bit careless on that turn, but he's not going to be punished for it. Once again, he's just taking his time. Could have maybe just struck that first time, but wants to place his next shot. That was probably the worst bounce he could have hoped for, though. It just went straight downwards and then into a position that Rezears could play with. And Rezears trying to waste a bit of time here. That's not the touch he wanted. Has CRR punished him? Yes, he has. Rezears is trying to waste a bit of time with this touch. He wanted to knock that into a position that CRR can't immediately shoot. As you can see, he completely failed. CRR struck from distance. Zelsian Slump Jr., thanks to the resubs, appreciate the support. How's that bounce going to be for Rezears? It's not a good one. CRR picked up the back corner boost to the far side before advancing here. Rezears just going to try and squeeze this one in with an arrow angle reset. He wants the boost steal on spawn, doesn't get it, but can he get the open net anyway? Oh boy, that's a huge play from Rezears. Both players creeping up on that corner boost, trying to be the one to get it, but CRR actually put himself in front of Rezears to try and beat into the boost. Got bumped out of the way, and even though he got the boost, CRR wasn't able to recover, save the shot. Rezears can put Germany way in front here by eliminating CRR, leaving Luis with everything to do. And that will put him in front of CRR with just 16 seconds to go. CRR has just been a bit too predictable. He looked like he'd surprised Rezears an awful lot in games 1 and 2, but now Rezears is reading the early challenges every single time. CRR has not adapted. Wave dash recovery kickoff for Rezears and a perfect boost grab will give him the series as long as he doesn't misplay. CRR just has to go here. Oh, actually, Rezears gives him the ball right back. I feel like CRR was expecting that. He wasn't ready for the ball to bounce right at him. And he's not going to get a chance to play it again. He's out. Rezears wins 3-1. He continues to be favored in, well, just slightly favored in the Rezears versus CRR matchup. One of the matchups from this tournament that I think has seen the most chapters in the past. Yeah, unfortunately for Spain, just still doesn't go their way on the right day.